The Scottish Water Horizons management team are committed to improving health and safety year on year. It's everybody's responsibility to seek out improvements as we move towards zero accidents. The video that you are now watching highlights the main hazards on this site. I would ask you pay particular attention to it. It's there to protect you and others working here. After you have watched the video, it will ask you to sign a declaration, just to confirm that you have understood the video. If you have any questions about the declaration, please ask a member of staff before leaving the reception. When you leave the reception, you must follow all site instructions and any instructions given to you by a member of staff. If you have any concerns or questions, please ask the nearest member of staff or return to reception and ask for advice and guidance. Many thanks.
Welcome to Deerdykes Development Centre. Within the centre, we operate our anaerobic digestion plant that recycles food waste and our aggregates plant that recycles road waste materials. We also lease part of the site to Caledonian Water Alliance. Please follow the signs to be directed to the correct part of the centre. Deerdykes is operated by Scottish Water Horizons, which is part of the Scottish Water Group. The site is regulated under a pollution prevention and control permit issued by SEPA. This permit is to minimise or wherever possible eliminate discharges to the environment. As we treat and process food waste, the animal byproducts regulations also apply.
Everyone entering the site must comply with site rules listed at the entrance and on signage around the site. Visitors to site must park in the parking area. No unauthorised vehicles are permitted into operational areas. All visitors and contractors must report to reception on arrival at site and sign in. Prior to leaving the site, you must ensure you sign out. All new waste delivery drivers and contractors must be inducted in reception before entering the operational site. For any visits going forward, drivers must either fob in or visit the reception via the side window. No PPE is allowed within the office building. A no smoking policy applies within all site buildings and operational areas. Please ask at reception for the designated smoking area. The shredders on site have a large magnet built in to remove metals. These can be hazardous to people with a heart pacemaker fitted, so if relevant, please advise a member of staff before leaving the reception building. Please also inform site staff of any other relevant conditions, including hay fever and allergies, or respiratory conditions before going out onto site. There are a number of first aiders on site. If anyone has an accident while on site, a member of staff must be contacted immediately and they'll contact the nearest first aider. Please report all accidents, including near misses, to a member of staff. The site grid references and a description of the location are available at reception. The emergency assembly point is located in the overspill parking area. In an emergency, follow the directions of site staff. The admin building is fitted with an alarm, while a verbal system and klaxon are used in operational areas. If you're operating a vehicle or machinery, please position this safely and proceed to the assembly point. Fire extinguishers are available throughout the site. Do not put yourself or others at risk by attempting to fight a fire if you've not received training in the use of an extinguisher or if the fire is larger than a typical waste paper bin. You will be informed if a fire alarm test is due while you are on site. The standard personal protective equipment to be worn by everyone when on site includes safety helmet, high visibility clothing and protective footwear. Additional equipment may be required for some tasks. Staff will advise you on this. Access to some areas requires hearing protection. Earplugs are available for visitors. Eye protection is required in operational areas due to dust and the potential to be splashed by waste. Please do not drop litter on our site. Use the bins provided. Visitors to site must be with a member of staff at all times. When walking around the site, keep to the designated paths where available and take care when crossing roads. Do not touch any of the vehicles or static machinery without permission from site staff. Machinery is likely to start up without notice. Do not lean on machinery. Beware of slips and trips, particularly in icy or wet conditions, on the stairway, and in processing halls. Always use handrails where available. Foot baths are situated at the exits of the food waste reception, so you must walk through these on leaving the buildings. All waste on the site is for destruction and must not be consumed or removed from site as it may be contaminated. Do not touch anything on site unless advised by a member of staff. Pipes and equipment may be hot. Only authorised trained personnel shall enter confined spaces. These are clearly signed. Good housekeeping is mandatory to a safe site and is the responsibility of all. All equipment must be returned to original storage after use. Skips are for the use of site staff only and are for designated waste. Do not contaminate. Please be aware of vehicles and heavy machinery. A one-way system is in operation for all vehicles accessing operational areas except site-based mobile plant. When driving on site, please be aware of pedestrians and remember that the site is a 10 mph speed limit. Abide by all site traffic management signs and take special note of plant and vehicles reversing or manoeuvring. Be aware of any blind spots for plant operators. Do not stand or walk directly behind reversing vehicles or plant. Only pass mobile plant if the operator has acknowledged you and has stopped. This applies whether on foot or driving a vehicle. Vehicles delivering waste or collecting biofertilizer must drive onto the weighbridge, taking care not to hit the barrier. Drivers should enter the cubicle and use the radio to contact the site reception for weigh-in. If no one is in reception, use the radio in the cubicle to contact the site for assistance. You will be directed where to go to discharge or offload. Regular drivers may be issued a fob. If the site is full, you will be asked to wait. Please be patient. Vehicle numbers are limited on site to reduce the risk of collision. All waste delivered to site must be covered by appropriate waste management, and anyone delivering waste should have the relevant paperwork, for example, a waste transfer note. Once the barrier has lifted, drive to the discharge area as instructed. Only discharge in the designated area. Audible reversing alarms or cameras should be fitted to all vehicles, and a banksman must be used where visibility is obscured. Site staff will guide you if a banksman is required. Wheels should be inspected before exiting the building and cleaned where necessary to ensure they do not track material outside. Vehicles entering the AD food waste reception must leave via the wheel wash. Drivers entering the AD reception must be aware that the exit route involves driving under a pipe bridge with a height restriction. Drivers are prohibited from moving around site with their tailgates or skip lifts in the raised position. Personnel delivering waste should stay in their vehicles wherever possible. Vehicle engines and plant engines should not be left idling while plant is not in use. Take care when exiting and entering vehicle cabs. Be aware that plant may be passing. When discharging from a tanker, always wear glasses and safety helmet. Always take care to hook up to the correct discharge point. Discharging vehicles must never be left unattended. Drivers are responsible for cleaning up all spillages that arise from discharging their vehicles. With the exception of minor spills of waste that are quickly and easily cleaned up during discharge, all spillages must be reported to a member of staff immediately, clearance procedures enacted, and spillage recorded in the site diary. This includes overspill from storage units. All delivery vehicles must leave the site by the exit weighbridge. Either fob or contact the office using the radio and say something so they know you are there. Your weighbridge ticket will be printed out. When exiting the site, please give way to traffic entering or leaving site from the left-hand side. All contractors are required to provide risk assessments and safe systems of work for their intended activities. These will be discussed together with site-specific hazards and restricted areas. Work in some areas and on certain items of plant requires the use of respiratory protective equipment. You will be advised accordingly. All contractors must be issued with an access transfer certificate prior to work commencing. Other certificates and permits may also be issued, for example, for hot works or confined space entry. All equipment brought to site must be fit for purpose and within inspection as required by current legislation. Contractors must clean up the area where they have been working and remove any debris, together with any faulty or worn-out parts as agreed, such as used oil and worn-out tyres. There is a designated explosive atmosphere area at the bottom of the site. Only authorised personnel are allowed access. If required to enter this area, a further briefing will be given. No electronic equipment is allowed in this area, including mobile phones and car keys. These should be handed into reception. Photography is only allowed if arranged in advance and if within designated areas. Please be aware that there is the potential for leptospirosis bacteria to be present at all waste processing sites. Bacteria can get into your body through cuts and scratches and through the lining of your mouth, eyes and throat after contact with contaminated areas. In rare cases, this can be fatal. Should you develop flu-like symptoms with a persistent and severe headache, you should seek advice from your GP and explain that you are or have been on a waste handling site. Leptospirosis is much less severe if it's treated promptly. Good hygiene practices are therefore essential. Hand washing facilities are available on site. Prior to leaving the site, visitors and contractors must wash their hands in the reception building. The reception building has a designated clean and dirty area. Contaminated work clothing or footwear must not be brought into clean areas. Contractors must ensure they sign out before leaving site and must return any PPE. This is a general induction. In addition to this film, please follow all specific instructions given to you by site staff. All persons entering site must comply with site rules listed at the entrance and on other signage around the site. If you have any problems or concerns, please contact the nearest member of staff or the site reception. You will now be asked to sign the Health and Safety Declaration.